Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. With the release of the major update yesterday in Enlisted, I've been playing a bunch of Stalingrad, so I thought I would give my general thoughts on it as of today. Basically, I've been able to get to level 11 of the Soviet campaign and level 12 of the Germany campaign pretty easily, using the boosted system. But before we get into it, I do want to let you know that there is a Flames of Stalingrad event going on right now. And basically, what you can get is some pretty cool stuff. You can actually get stuff from the 30th of March to the 4th of April, and as you complete tasks in the Battle of Stalingrad campaign, you can get yourself some new customization. Basically, you know those cards that you can get for the change of appearance and change of customization and things like that? You can get a bunch of them for participating in the event. I know a lot of people have been talking about the cost of customization. I would rather have the costs of the game filtered into customization than anything else. That seems to be the most successful business model for free-to-play games. But at the same time, you can get a bunch of free stuff if you do the event, which is going on right now. So basically, all you've got to do is play in Stalingrad. You have to fight in 5 battles in it, kill 50 enemies, finish a battle by placing in the top 30% of the team 3 times, win 3 times in the Stalingrad campaign, and also finish a battle by placing first on your team 3 times. So if you do all those things, then you can get a bunch of the customizable stuff for the soldiers. Simple as that. Really easy to do, and also at the same time you get to try out the new campaign and have a bit of fun. All of these things are located in the achievements tab, by the way, so make sure to check that out and make sure to enjoy that. So when it comes to the Battle of Stalingrad, I've got to say I've been having a great time. And the reason is because it's a mixture of both of my favorite campaigns. Basically, I really like the Battle of Berlin. I also really like the Battle of Moscow. Both of these kind of change, which is my favorite, depending on kind of the time when I'm playing it. Both are incredibly fun. And basically what Stalingrad does is it takes a lot of the map design ideas from Berlin, such as the more enclosed spaces and the, instead of just being, out in the open all the time, you're fighting over small buildings and stuff, and it puts it into Stalingrad, and then you get mainly the weapons from Moscow. So it's taking 2 of the elements that I like from both campaigns and sticking them in one of them, which is super cool. So as an extension of Moscow and Berlin, I'm really enjoying it. I still don't think it should be a separate campaign. They should have just put it into the Moscow campaign, or at least do kind of like a push off of it. But I think so far, it's been pretty good. It runs really well. The Maxim machine guns run really well. The customization runs really well. There's obviously been a lot of thorough bug testing on these maps, and I've got to say, one of the problems with stuff like Berlin when it was released was the optimization was terrible on the map, and also the AI pathing was really bad. So far, when it comes to Stalingrad, the AI pathing is not as bad. There's still a few issues with AIs getting stuck in buildings and things like that, and also taking some very odd routes to be able to get to places. But it's much better than it was for the campaigns when they started, and the optimization is fantastic, probably because a lot of the assets are copied from other campaigns. So that's good. At the same time, I do have a few issues. First of all, there are some maps where you can literally put spawn beacons right next to the cap points as a defender. This means that you can get a constant stream of defenders coming into the point. It's actually impossible to stop it unless you have, let's say, a 2 or 3 man group, or you get very lucky with throwing grenades to be able to stop it. So that needs to be addressed. And what I mean by this is there are some spawn beacons that you can put 30 meters away from the objective, and that is 30 meters from the center of the objective, and the objective itself is about 20 meters in radius. So you basically can spawn about 5 meters away from the objective. So there is no way of being able to deal with that. Basically what you have to do is you have to overrun the objective to be able to take them out, and that's very hard to do if you're a one-man band when it comes to it. So that needs to be addressed. The other thing as well is some of the tanks are very tanky, is probably the way I would put it. So from the sides of tanks, normally what you can do is you can throw an explosive grenade to the sides of vehicles, but something seems a bit off about the T-70 and specifically the Panzer III. The Panzer III seems to eat stuff like explosive packs pretty easily compared to other vehicles, which kind of sucks because obviously it's another campaign where your AT equipment is very limited compared to other areas, so it would be nice to see, you know, that improved. I've also seen my first KV L11. It didn't die and nothing could kill it. Basically, all it did is it just kept getting its tracks broken and it just kept marching forward. I don't think Enlisted needs these really heavy tanks. I think it's a really bad idea. I saw T-34 take over the game. I saw a KV-1 take over the game. They've got to be super careful with these things because they're going to start taking over games and it's going to be impossible to kill them if you don't have proper vehicles. It's going to be very, very annoying. But overall, the gameplay feels nice. The fact that you get, you know, starred soldiers and starred guns is quite good. Makes everything a little bit easier. I will say this campaign is definitely pay to win. There's no way around it right now because of the squads that you can get access to if you pay in compared to if you don't. And, you know, the fact that if you pay in, you can get STG 44s for everybody. And if you don't, then you don't. It's as simple as that. The research system, I think, is quite nice. So basically, in 4 games on each side of the campaigns, because I played both sides, I was able to get to level 10 within 4, or I think it was 4 games for the Soviets, 5 games for the Germans. So basically, that's all of the general squads that you're going to need to be able to push forward with. I think if I really grinded it out, I could have easily got to level 20 on one of the campaigns if I put all my time into that campaign on one day, which is pretty nice. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I've got to say the bonus research, the only issue I've had with it, if we want to class it as an issue, is because of the fact that you're researching so fast, your squads change a hell of a lot. So what this basically means is you have to chop and change a lot of your squads after every battle, and you have to give them new weaponry, you have to give them new inventory, you have to give them new squad members, and all of this wonderful stuff, which is definitely a problem, because it just means that you're constantly sat there, outside of battles for 5 minutes after every battle, chopping and changing things. I feel like this will get better with time, though, since, you know, everything will be less choppy-changey. But overall, it's been feeling really good, the campaign. The medic class is pretty pointless because it doesn't get an engineer. So it only gets 5 medics, which basically is 5 assaulters with the ability of healing people. And they're fun to use. I like them because they're just basically assaulters, but they don't get an engineer. So that's a real issue. We also see premium squads like the PO2 be added to Stalingrad. Now, GeForce said there wouldn't be any extra paid content, but as we've talked about before, GeForce can't be trusted with anything he says, because it seems like he's either getting fed bad information or his English is just so bad he can't tell the truth. So either he needs English lessons or he needs better information. And as a community manager, he's failing at his job. He has been for a long time. Hopefully this can be rectified. When it comes to the other parts of Stalingrad, I think there is a bit too much of a disparity between a free-to-play player and a paid player. When it comes to research, I think maybe lowering it a little bit would have been quite nice. I like the fact that they made engineers really early in the campaign. Good job. Looks like we've learned from Tunisia because Tunisia was hell for new players not having engineers. Also, explosive pack being low on the campaign thing is really good. Overall, this is, you know, the launch of the campaign is probably the smoothest that I've seen out of any of the different campaigns. Is there enough unique stuff here to keep you interested? Probably not. The maps themselves, I've seen maybe 3 of them, and they all have different variations of where you start spawning. Some of them are the opposite of each other, but most of them are very similar when it comes to their layout. I'm sure they'll add more as they come. I don't think this is going to take over my more favorite campaigns, but we'll have to see as it goes forward. I'll play some more, especially doing the events and stuff, and see what happens going in the future for this update. But so far, I've got to say this is the most stable update we've seen for a while, which is fantastic. That's really nice to see. And everything has been working pretty well. The only issue is obviously the tank stuff that I talked about and some of the spawn beacon stuff. Everything else has been really, really good at the moment. I really, really detest the pay-to-win stuff really badly, and I hope that that is not something that's going to happen in the future. It's really sad to see, and I've already been talking to a lot of free-to-play players, and they basically turn around and go, why would I play this? And just to give you an example, so in the time that it took me to get to level 11 and level 12 of the Soviet and the German campaign, I have a friend who doesn't have premium, who didn't buy into the campaign, and he's at level 3, I believe, on both campaigns, and we've played about the same amount, doing about the same when it comes to scores and kills and all of that stuff, and that just gives you an idea, right? And also at the same time, the major issue is once we get to the later levels, is he will never have the same amount of guns and the better guns than I will. There is no way he can ever get those squads, and no way to ever get those weapons. So that's a real issue when it comes to the game. Hopefully it's rectified at some point with some challenges to make it a bit more balanced, but we'll have to see what goes on. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank Merciless Reaper, Jerry Provolt, Megadino King, Professor X1718, Orange Tail, Sakoshi Tiger, Teddy, John Ryman, Universe, Eugens Terry, Ambrosius McClellan, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, Moxie, B. Young, and Derek R., Barine, Lafouche, and Samuel Slick for supporting the channel.